The sky above Kareth Prime burned violet at dusk. Twin moons rose behind the black cliffs. The wind carried the smell of iron dust and wild musk. Captain Lyra Madsen stood alone in the tall red grass. Across the valley, dozens of eyes watched her. The Carethian warriors were massive, 8 feet tall, thick-scaled hides, for powerful arms. Their jaws were lined with curved teeth built for tearing flesh. They were apex predators on their world. Nothing hunted them until humans arrived. Lyra removed her helmet slowly. She let them see her face, calm, breathing steady. No weapon in her hands. A ripple moved through the warriors. Low growls. Confusion High Commander Varkesh stepped forward from the ranks. His crest flared bright orange, a sign of alert dominance. She trembles, he rumbled in the trade tongue. The human fears. Lyra did not tremble. Behind her, hidden among the rocks, a small shape shifted. Then another. 3 Carethian cubs tumbled out of the grass. The warriors stiffened. The cubs were no larger than large dogs. Their scales were still soft blue, their claws short but sharp, their eyes wide with curious hunger. They ran straight toward Lyra. Gasps rippled through the warriors. Several raised their plasma spears. "Stand down," Varkesh ordered. His voice carried thunder. "Observe." The first cub leapt. Lyra moved. Not back. Forward. She caught the cub mid-air and rolled with it into the grass. The cub snapped playfully at her shoulder. Lyra laughed. A clear, bright sound that echoed across the valley. The second cub joined. Then the third. Soon she was on her back in the grass, with 3 small predators crawling over her armor, nipping at her gloves, tugging at her hair. The warriors stared in disbelief. "She is mad," one whispered. "No," Varkesh said slowly. "She does not smell of fear." It was true. The Carethians could smell fear. It had a sharp, bitter scent. Lyra smelled only of sweat and strange off-world soap. One cub managed to knock her helmet aside. Another climbed onto her chest and tried to roar. The sound came out as a squeaky hiss. Lyra gently tapped its snout. "Nice try." "Little monster," she said softly. The cub blinked at her. Then it bit her forearm. Hard. Several warriors lunged forward. Lyra did not cry out. She shifted her weight and gently pinned the cub to the ground, not hurting it, just enough to show control. She held it there for 2 seconds, then released it. The cub stared up at her, then rolled onto its back, submitting. A shockwave of silence passed through the Carethian ranks. Cubs only submitted to stronger beings. Even adult warriors bled during early training. Varkesh stepped forward slowly. Each step shook the ground. "You challenge the blood of hunters," he said. Lyra sat up. The cub that had submitted climbed into her lap. "I'm playing," she replied. The translator struggled with the word. "Playing," Varkesh repeated, tasting it. "Yes," Lyra said. "Your cubs are curious. They need to test strength. They need to learn limits." The third cub lunged at her neck from behind. In one smooth motion, she ducked, grabbed it, and flipped it over her shoulder. It landed in the grass with a startled chirp. The cub sprang up instantly and attacked again. This time Lyra let it push her backward. She allowed herself to fall. She let it feel powerful. The watching warriors shifted uneasily. "She yields," one muttered. "No," Varkesh said again. His voice was quieter now. "She teaches." The cub that had bitten her arm approached again. It bared tiny teeth, Lyra held out her hand. "Come on," she whispered. The cub lunged. She sidestepped and gently swept its legs. It tumbled. She tapped its side twice. A human training signal. The cub froze. Then it chirped and bounced back up, eyes bright. Minutes passed. Then 20. The valley filled with the sounds of rough play. Grass tearing. Cub hisses. Human laughter. Not once did Lyra draw a weapon. Not once did she show fear. Finally, the cubs tired. They collapsed around her, panting. One rested its head on her leg. Lyra stroked its scales. The Carathians had no word for what they were seeing. Varkesh approached until he stood only a few steps away. "You are fragile," he said. "Your bones thin. Your claws absent. Your teeth dull." Lyra smiled up at him. "Yep. Yet you do not fear our young." She shook her head. "On Earth we have animals bigger than your warriors. Stronger jaws. Faster reflexes." Varkesh narrowed his eyes. "You hunt them." "Sometimes," Lyra said. "Sometimes we protect them. Sometimes we raise them from birth." The idea unsettled him. "You bring predators into your homes." "Dogs," she said. "Wolves once. Now family." The cub beside her lifted its head and nudged her hand. Varkesh watched carefully. "You let my cub bite you." "He's learning bite control," Lyra said. "If I react with fear, he learns dominance through terror. If I react with balance, he learns restraint." Varkesh was silent for a long time. The wind shifted. He inhaled deeply. Still no scent of fear. Only calm. "You knew they would attack," he said. Double quotes. "Yes. And you came alone." "Yes. Why?" Lyra looked around at the ring of armored giants. "Because your species respects strength. And strength isn't always about killing." The words settled heavily. One of the cubs rolled onto its back at her side again, exposing its throat. A sacred vulnerable gesture in front of the entire warrior. Kas Varkesh slowly lowered his spear. "You are not prey," he said. "No." Lyra agreed. "You are not hunter." She scratched the cub's chin. "Not today." A low rumble spread through the warriors. Not anger, approval. Varkesh knelt. The ground trembled as he did. He extended one massive claw toward the cub in her lap. The cub glanced at him, then ignored him and licked Lyra's glove. Varkesh's crest dimmed to deep blue. A color of respect. "You entered the valley knowing we watched." "Yes. You risked death. Every first contact is a risk." Varkesh studied her small frame. Her soft skin. Her lack of armor plating. "Your species survives through madness." Lyra laughed. "Through adaptability." He considered that. "Our young choose who may touch them. They have chosen you." The statement carried weight behind him. Warriors began lowering weapons fully. Lyra gently stood. The cubs protested with soft chirps. One tried to climb her leg. She crouched and pressed her forehead. Briefly to the largest cubs. Snout, a human gesture. The cub chirped. Softly, Varkesh watched closely. "You faced 3 predators, and did not seek dominance through pain. No, you balanced power with restraint." "That's how we survive," she said. The commander rose to full height. "Then hear this, human Lyra, Mads. The Carethi Dominion recognizes your species as equals." A murmur swept the ranks. "Trade will be discussed," he continued. "Knowledge will be exchanged. and your kind may walk our lands without being hunted. Lyra exhaled slowly. Relief at last. Thank you. Varkesh tilted his massive head. One question remains. Okay. If our cubs had truly attacked with killing intent, what would you have done? The valley grew still again. Lyra looked at the resting cubs. Then back at him. Her eyes were steady. I would have survived. The words were simple, but absolute. Varkesh believed her. Not because of size, not because of weapons, but because she had walked into a nest of predators and played. The Karathi understood. Predators. They recognized one when they saw one. And that night, under violet skies and twin moons, the alien warriors realized something unsettling. The human had never been afraid. She had been playing with the predator cubs, and the predators had enjoyed it. Asterisk.